Hey guys, welcome back to another Hooch Report. Today I will be reviewing the Komasa Gin. It is basically another Japanese gin made with the Sakurajima Komikan, the world's smallest Satsuma. Satsumas are basically, they're like, if you're in the United States, they're like the cutie oranges. So those little tiny kind of mandarins that are easy to peel, but have really nice sweet to acidity kind of balance. Um, they are personally one of my favorite fruits. I'm going to be trying to grow in Owari Satsuma uh, at my place of residence. And in line with last week's episode regarding the yuzu, I wanted to try a gin made with Satsuma and see actually how they taste. Now, obviously, the fruit I'll be growing is not going to be exactly like these because this is a different cultivar. And I guess what makes these so special, besides being the world's smallest Satsumas, is they're grown at the base of an active volcano in Japan. And for those of you that do kind of follow and know a thing or two about agriculture at the bases of volcanoes, while it's obviously dangerous to live by active volcanoes, i.e., like Pompeii, the soil there is super fertile, and you get really good yields on all your crops. And it's one reason why people for thousands of years have actually lived at bases of volcanoes. That said, I'm really excited to try this and see exactly what uh, this producer has to offer. And unfortunately, this is not a cheap bottle. I think for this, 375 milliliter bottle is about $40. So about $10 for every 100 milliliters. And you know, let's take a look. As a bit of a design nerd, I really do like when companies really go the extra mile to make their bottles. Um, my favorite part about this kind of quaint looking bottle right here is that they carry over the Mandarin Satsuma theme into the label itself. The texture of the paper feels very much like a nice business card. Cue like Paul Allen from American Psycho. But there's an embossed lettering in here. The texture and the whiteness of it just feels very much so like a very professional business card. It's nice that they carry over the Satsuma kind of Mandarin orange into the text itself. I think that re-emphasizes or just lets the consumer know, like, hey, this is what to expect as you get into it. It also has a really nice kind of watercolor Satsuma mandarins on the side, and they could have gone a really minimal route like other Japanese kind of liquors, where it's just a very clean aesthetic. But sometimes the little extra warmth or detail, it does really come through and really show that they actually care about their product. And then what's also unique is they use a cork cap on top. It's real cork, and you don't have a plastic bottle feel. I think sometimes you have a really nice bottle, but plastic cap just kind of detracts from the overall quality. And with having a real cork kind of cap, it feels a little bit more old timey. And they didn't skimp on the material. It's a real cork. It's not the plastic kind of fake corks at all. So overall, I think they did a really nice job. I mean, even the text on this reads really well. All right, so before I open this, I do want to give a shout out to the distiller, and they'll be shown in the show notes. But basically, I don't want to go ahead and open it without telling you who made this. So the distillery is, and if I butcher it, I'm sorry, but it's Komasa Yoso Company Limited. So again, I'll try to link to the website so you can actually read up a little bit more about them if you're interested. in how they made this gin. So I guess we'll get started, and there's a very nice kind of peel right here where I can kind of take this off, satisfying little drip, and let's begin. Oh, wow. So immediately off the nose, it's not quite as fragrant as the yuzu gin, where I opened that and immediately was kind of overwhelmed by how fragrant that was. But what I do get off this is it kind of smells like like I just peeled a cutie or a mandarin orange with a little bit of juniper in the back, and then a little bit of that sweet anise smell that kind of complements it. But again, it's not overwhelming. It feels like a very delicate uh, texture, which, sometimes less is more. So I'm really curious to see how this actually tastes and how the bodied alcohol feels. And I don't get a whole lot of alcohol that kind of burns my nose off this, which I would expect off something that's almost 50%, which is always nice. So let's take a look. My glass here, very clear. Being a little bit bigger glass, you get a little bit more of the nose on it. And it's definitely opened up a little bit more. So maybe the bottleneck was actually subduing the fragrance, but let's take a sip. Wow. So this is definitely has a really nice spiciness to it. Obviously, you get the the satsumas in there that give it a very citrus forward body, but you also get, now that you actually taste it, it definitely does taste like it is a more potent distilled 50% alcohol. But the spiciness actually blends or lends itself quite nice to the oranges. I get kind of, although I know there's no cinnamon in this, I think the orange with the alcohol, it gives me kind of a cinnamon kind of taste. Um, Definitely get a bit of the juniper, but not much. It's obvious that the most important ingredient in this gin is the satsumas, and overall, I do like it. I can drink this neat. Uh, there's some gins I just can't drink neat, but this one you sip really, really well. Um, let's see, one more. And definitely, even get a little bit of that kind of licorice sweetness. Overall, it's very pleasant. Um, and I think if they were going for a gin that was distinctly unique in regards to having a Satsuma base or a profile that's heavily Satsuma, they did it here. And I can't wait to try this in a gin and tonic. All right, so like last time, I have a standard Fever Tree Indian tonic. My comments regarding not using the Mediterranean, I think, still makes sense for this. That the Mediterranean is a bit more floral, and I kind of wanted to see what a standard tonic would add to this kind of already very floral gin. So I'll just get started. Pour my shot in here, and have a taste. Immediately the orange still carries through. Um, it smells like it smells like I opened up an orange or a Satsuma Mandarin, and it's really pleasant. I think the additional sugar from the tonic kind of helps accentuate that, and then it'd be interesting to see the quinine and its bitterness adds to the profile, but we shall take a look. There we go. Okay, it's pretty interesting. You definitely do get the tonic forward end, but then I was eating kumquats yesterday, and those you can kind of pop like grapes, and the sweetness in the kumquat is actually in the rind. Well, you get that sourness in the juice flesh itself. It reminds me very much so right now of the kumquat fruit. It's it comes off sweet, and then there's that bitter sweetness that you get from the aromatic rind of that fruit itself. Um, it's nice. I feel like right now it's winter, but if it was a hot summer day, this is like a great cold drink to have. Just fruity, uh, not overwhelmingly fruity, but in the subtle, delicate sense. So it still feels very delicate. Because it is in the tonic, I don't get that kind of burning cinnamon spice that I did just from drinking it straight. But having this on a hot summer day, just it really sounds attractive. Overall, I know this is a very expensive gin. It really puts it up there with some of the most expensive. But if you ever get the chance to try it, I think it adds something to the world of craft gin that we don't necessarily get in Western gins. And I would highly recommend you try it if you get a chance. I got this at Total Wine. So if you have a Total Wine near you, definitely your gin section, and it should be hidden away in there. Uh, but overall, very happy to have tried this, and it's definitely giving me some ideas. Should in the future I use any Satsumas I grow, and that's exciting. Anyways, I will see y'all next week, and keep sipping.